Fox 55 News, first at 10.
Tonight on Fox 55 News, a local contractor fined for safety violations, the deaths of 3 in a Columbia City accident. What penalties the Fort Wayne company currently faces. Plus, Fort Wayne set to give out nearly $400,000 in COVID relief to nonprofits. We'll tell you how much some nonprofits are receiving and how they plan to spend that money. And later, a look into how vaccines are distributed across our state, which counties in our area are receiving the most vaccines and which are lagging behind. Fox 55 News starts right now. Good evening, I'm Chris Malooly. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, a Fort Wayne contractor will have to pay $14,000 in fines following an Indiana OSHA investigation. This comes after 3 workers died in a Columbia City sewer manhole in August. Jason Ball, Bronson Ball, and Douglas Kramer all died. The 3 were working for Crosby Excavating on a sewer project. An OSHA investigation penalized the contractor for 4 violations. Those include employees not identifying confined spaces, implementing improper training and skills for employees, and employees not wearing helmets in hazardous areas. The fines are due by February 19th. And all clear by the Fort Wayne Airport after a reported gas leak shut down a few businesses nearby. Fort Wayne fire crews arrived to Lepoxy Plastics on Ferguson Road. That was just across the street from the Fort Wayne International Airport. Employees reported a gas called boron trichloride had leaked out of a gas line when they were changing over tanks, which reacted with the air, creating a larger cloud. Fort Wayne Fire Assistant Chief Tim Maloney says the gas leak ended up only being minor and never left the building.
First and foremost is public safety. So we got on scene, verified the product type, how much was released, and looked at that isolation area. And when we determined that it was such a small amount and never left the facility, there was no need to evacuate anybody.
Maloney explains the 2 employees inside were able to mitigate the gas leak before calling 911. Right now, nearly $400,000 will be split among 7 Fort Wayne nonprofits to help them with their operations during the COVID-19 pandemic. Fox 55's Caleb Saylor spoke with 2 of those organizations today and is live in Fort Wayne. Caleb, how are these funds going to be used?
Fort Wayne's Office of Housing and Neighborhood Services recently received $1.2 million in a community development block grant to help provide COVID-19 relief throughout the community. And like you mentioned, Chris, nearly $400,000 of that will be given to groups that provide services to low-income residents and disabled residents throughout the community to get services that they need to live healthy and productive lives.
2 organizations, 2 grants, but one thing in common, helping people. Sharon Tubbs with Health Vision Midwest says her group typically offers education groups for people suffering from diabetes, high blood pressure, and obesity on Fort Wayne Southeast side. But the COVID-19 pandemic has shown them they need support to change how they operate.
Community partnerships are crucial. We cannot do the work alone. The second thing is that virtual programming is the way of the future. And so we want to combine those needs, but we need funding to do it.
The $25,000 grant they received will help them create virtual programming for people to access to learn how to become healthier and help them join forces with more organizations to create a healthier county.
We have been partnering with organizations throughout the Allen County community for years. This is going to enable us to kind of build stronger partnerships.
For the Community Transportation Network, Justin Klepper says COVID-19 has had big impacts on their operations, reducing the number of riders at any one time and requiring more routes and drivers to meet the needs of seniors and those who are disabled to get where they need to go, which costs a lot of money.
CTN only takes a very small fee from our riders or from Medicaid. It doesn't actually cover the full cost of the trip. There's actually about a $40 gap that exists between the average rider fee and the actual cost of the trip.
So he says the $25,000 will help cover those extra costs of paying drivers, covering insurance and maintenance needed on their fleet.
To have this added support means that we can stay on the road. It means that we can bring on an extra driver if we need to support the added trip needs. It means that we can get out there and help more people.
Other organizations that have received grants include the YMCA of Greater Fort Wayne to help with their child care program, as well as Wellspring Interfaith to help expand their mobile food pantry. A full list of organizations, how much they received, and how they're going to use it can be found on our website, WFFT.com. Reporting live in Fort Wayne, Caleb Saylor, Fox 55 News.
Thanks for that, Caleb. And, well, it seems like we can't catch a break with the snow. You saw behind Caleb in his live shot right there. Meteorologist Beverly Perry tracking more snow for the Beverly Perry tracking.
I know.
It can be a little tough, but more snow coming.
Yes, more snow is coming. We're looking at waves of snow heading our way. This is one. We're going to have another one overnight, and then another one is on the way for Wednesday afternoon. So in the meantime, yes, on the radar, doesn't look like much, but we saw Caleb seeing some snow in the background there. We do have some light snow right around Fort Wayne, along 20 from basically Steuben County to Elkhart County, seeing light snow, along 69 in DeKalb County, seeing a little bit of light snow, also towards northern Allen County, and we're going to see more of it as we continue through the overnight hours. But you may have noticed in that live shot, it is very light snow, so it's not going to accumulate much, just maybe cause some slick spots on the roadways. But we have another system heading our way. I'll detail that out for you coming up in just a few minutes.
And several schools will operate on a 2-hour delay tomorrow morning, including DeKalb County Central and East Noble schools. For a full list of school closing and delays, you can visit our website at WFFT.com. Click to that weather tab, then closing, and then you'll find those delays. Now taking a look at COVID numbers in the State Department of Indiana reporting 1,065 new positive cases. That brings the total to over 640,000. 58 new deaths bring that total to over 11,459 total deaths in the state. The 7-day positivity rate is down to 6.6%. 37% of ICU beds are currently available, and 80% of ventilators are also available in Indiana state hospitals. Allen County reporting 64 new cases. That brings the total to 34,488 cases in the county. Defiance adds 2 cases and 2 deaths. DeKalb adds 20 cases over the weekend. Grant adds 10 cases. Huntington adds 16 cases. Noble County adding 16 cases and 1 death. Wabash adds 8 cases. Wells adds 7 cases and 1 death. Willie County adds 8 cases, and Williams County adds 4 cases and 2 deaths. Here's a look at state COVID vaccination numbers within the last 24 hours. 4,859 first doses have been administered, and 7,190 are now fully vaccinated. The total first dose of the vaccine administered in the state is over 699,000. And number of fully vaccinated is 223,576. Vaccinations now in full swing in Indiana, but some counties are giving more shots than others. Fox 55's Drew Fry has been tracking the vaccine distribution process and crunching the numbers, and he reports where some counties are in our area are lining up.
The percentage of people receiving COVID-19 vaccinations in Northeast Indiana is below both the national and statewide average. But local vaccination clinics say they haven't had issues distributing the vaccine. They've had issues getting it.
We give out pretty much every dose that we get. So anything that we are allocated, we give. We don't get to choose and say, goodness, we could take this many per day. So if we could, I can tell you we would be asking for a lot more.
As of today, Allen County has fully vaccinated just under 4% of its population. That puts it about 18th among Indiana's 93 counties. That ranking drops into the mid-50s when counting people with just 1 dose. Mindy Waldron with the Allen County Health Department says they were prepared for more vaccinations, but are underwhelmed with the doses they were sent.
To be real honest with you, the vaccine amounts are lower than what we had anticipated. So several of our sites have a lot more capacity than the vaccine is coming.
In Northeast Indiana, Steuben County has the highest rate of people fully vaccinated with over 5%. Among the lowest, Noble County, with less than 2% fully vaccinated, putting them near the bottom. Noble County Health Officer Dr. Terry Gaff says his focus, though, is on working with what he has.
We put every dose that we have available into an arm. So I'm not really interested in the numbers thing. I'm interested in making sure that every vaccination that we have a chance to give counts for our citizens, and that's what we're doing.
Despite having just 1 clinic in the county, Gaff says he would be ready if more doses came his way. In Fort Wayne, I'm Drew Fry, Fox 55 News.
Currently, the state of Indiana ranks in the middle of the pack in terms of receiving the vaccines, but near the bottom when it comes to administering them. We did reach out to the State Department of Health, but have not heard back. Coming up, 4 years later, the families of 2 Delphi teens killed continue their search for answers, how they're remembering the girls and honoring them in their community. Plus, the FBI makes a break in a 29-year-old murder case, the arrest made in a Gary, Indiana woman and daughter's death. And later, senators preparing for the second impeachment trial for former President Trump. What rules the Senate will have to follow and the deadline set for trial.